Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody is doing well, staying safe and healthy. I'd like to thank Lois for taking an offhand comment of mine about a face mask and making it a reality. This is so much fun. I love it. It's hilarious. Anyway, if you can't laugh a little bit, we're going to go a little bit stir crazy, and I hope you're not going stir crazy. We thank you all for keeping connected, and I hope that this message finds you well. We are looking forward to the opportunity when we can gather together as an entire congregation and community once more to receive His Word, to fellowship with fellow believers, and most importantly, to receive the Lord's Supper in the Holy Sacrament of Communion. Now, in the meantime, until Governor DeSantis gives the clear for large group gatherings, we're going to try something a little bit different. So, beginning on Wednesday, we have a schedule of short, small group devotions with communion. It'll include confession and absolution, the Lord's Prayer, Apostles' Creed, the Lord's Supper, and a benediction. It's going to be very brief, but it's an opportunity to gather together and to receive the body and blood and the forgiveness of sins and the assurance that God is with us. So there will be a sign up sheet in our newsletter or a sign up link in our newsletter to Sign Up Genius. And we have a space for 9 participants for each section. And once it's full, we can't have any more due to the regulations. But we have several different slots. It'll be on Wednesdays and not this coming Sunday, the 3rd, but the following Sunday, we will have it as well. So hopefully one of those times will work for you and you can come and receive communion and absolution. If you are not able to come to a group setting or because of autoimmune issues or other health issues you don't feel comfortable, please call the church office and we will set up a private communion. I will come to your home and give you communion as I do for most of our shut ins. And if you feel most comfortable, I'll even wear the mask. A couple other things we'd like to talk about. President Harrison has a message that he has recorded, and it's in our newsletter or our weekly message as well. And I hope you listen to that. He's a wonderful, wonderful pastor and a wonderful leader for our denomination. I also we have our newsletter coming out, our monthly newsletter, and in that there's an article by a doctor who changed from a Calvinistic Presbyterian point of view of Christianity to a Lutheran confession of Christianity. And it's interesting to see her journey, what she found important in the Lutheran confessions that made her desire to understand God from that perspective. And the biggest thing was the absolute certainty and assurance that Lutherans have in our baptism that we are God's children and therefore we are saved. We don't need to worry. We don't need to fret and wonder, does God really love me? Am I really part of His kingdom? Am I really saved? Did I make enough of a commitment? Have I done enough good? All of that is thrown out the window in our identity as children of God. We are baptized. God has adopted us. Therefore, He loves us. Therefore, He saves us. Therefore, we are saved. And what a blessing that is. Now, in my message on Sunday, or for Sunday, we are saved, and I reinforce that freedom, but also encourage us not to use that freedom and abuse it to sin or to be afraid. So I encourage you all to take the freedom that God has given you and use it to share the love of Christ with others. They will know we are Christians by our love, and let us act in love, not being afraid of this virus, but being confident that no matter what happens, God is with us, and we can serve and love, even if that might put us a little more at risk. After all, we as Christians know we're going to die, every single one of us. But in Christ, we also know that death is not the end, that we will rise again to new life and celebrate with Christ for all eternity, life eternal in a perfect world and perfect bodies, without the aches and pains, illnesses and fears that we face today. I hope you read our newsletter. I hope you enjoy this message. If you have any questions or comments or anything else that you would like to hear about, please do not hesitate to call. And once again, be safe. Wear your mask when necessary. Wash your hands often. and practice social distancing when you need to. But also don't be afraid to reach out to your neighbor and share a roll of toilet paper, some extra food, or just a listening ear and a prayer. Go in peace and serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.